Good morning, welcome to today's RC Coffee Chat and a very warm welcome to you, whether it's good morning, good afternoon or good evening. Now, those of you which haven't been here for a while, we have changed the RC Coffee Chats to a weekly basis, and they're going to be held every Wednesday at 6 a.m. British Standard Time, whatever that time works out for you, because I've got the time zone conversions in the video description for you. So what do we have in the list of topics for you this morning? Number one, we have new foam on the way. We've got an update on the Mini Talon mini update, if that makes sense. The Skywalker Cirrus we'll be discussing. The Durafly Vampire, she's sat here next to me. We'll have a quick chat about that. A rocking horse had a dump. Really? Did Fat Shark fail? Don't know. We'll find out about that in a few moments' time. Is there a micro drac on the way? And do you fancy working for Hobby King? There are some jobs going on at the moment at Hobby King, and we'll be taking a look at those. And finally, just for fun, is the Hobby King website broken? Who knows? So let me just make sure the audio's good. Looks like it's working. They're happy days. And I'm just over there checking on the live chat at the moment, which you can see is going on above my head. And of course, remember, if you are watching the recorded version, you can say howdy, good morning, afternoon in the comment section underneath this video. And of course, if you've got any questions about anything which we covered here today, remember you can just ask either over in the Facebook group, which we'll have a chat about later, or in the comment section underneath this video. Right. We'll get to shout out corner in a moment. So let's have a look at the new foam which is on the way. Now today is a very exciting day. We have some very special foam, as in that both lots of foam which is supposedly turning up today is going to be ludicrously fast. So the first one which I've got is a Rare Bear. Now those of you which don't know the story behind this, it drives me nuts. And I'm really glad to see that they've got a new general e-commerce manager going in at Hobby King, because it really does drive me bonkers. Is that I was unable. I'd had this Rare Bear kit in my wish list, and I'd had it in my cart on Hobby King for ages. And then the SU35 came out, and I could not believe that you couldn't buy models, as in plural, from Hobby King. It was just bonkers. Every time you added 2 items to the cart, it told you collect from Elmset, which is like 3 hours and back. It's crazy distance from here in Bristolia. So yeah, I didn't end up buying the SU35. When I last checked, they were out of stock anyway, well, only available in the global warehouse. And well, screw you, is my honest thoughts. And then I went on and I used a discount code off Banggood, which looks like it's 10 Air, and I've bought a plug and fly version of the Rare Bear. Now the Rare Bear, I am going to give it a whirl with the default stock setup to begin with, just to see how it flies, and then I'm going to stupidly overpower it. I've seen many other people do it before in the past, and they go like little rocking horse. They are absolute skits. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that one does arrive with us today. I did think I was going to get slapped with import tax, but no, looks like we've got through customs all right, so that's classed as happy days. Also, finally, I say finally, it's only been about a week or so, I did order a Hardcore 44 and the other one, which I've forgotten off the top of my head, from Chris Click over at Right Wing, and they are both due to be delivered here today. So we are going to have 2 crazy ass wings, or 2 additional, should I word this correctly, 2 additional crazy ass wings here today. So the build bench has been not that busy, to be honest. Like, as many of you know, the reason behind changing these RC Coffee Chats to a weekly basis has so that I've been able to focus on work. I've been up since 2 o'clock this morning. I've written a shed load of code. I've even learnt a new programming language as well, which is going all right, in inverted commas. I'm only a couple of days into it, but they're all kind of a muchness. So anyway, Yeah, the workbench has not been that busy because I've been busy working, unfortunately. But it will start picking up pace because I've got the 48, which is still in progress. I've got the FG36, which is slowed down again. Nabil is going to send us some STL files for a mount for the front of that. And I've got a collection of other smaller things working on here at the moment. But yeah, we've got the Rare Bear, should be here today, and also a pair of hardcore wings as well, which are going to be absolutely skits. And I also did go to the luxury point of getting the motor, ESCs and bits and servos and stuff as well. Just kind of makes sense to get the whole combo while I'm at it. And Chris Collector's got one of the best sales lines ever. Matt, do you know that I can put a second wing in the box for the same amount of postage? It was something like that you mentioned in the chat. I was like, God. So to save like £5, the order price like kind of doubled. Absolutely crazy. And I can see there's quite a lot of chat. I can see there's a lot of chat going on in here at the moment. Andy says more carbon required. Absolutely. Green patches, stupidly overpowered. I don't believe you. Yes, potentially. Good morning, Bruce, by the way. I've just seen the chat going on here in the background. I know it's not like me at all, Tim. So, yeah, we will go with the stock setup to begin with, specifically for the Rare Bear. And then I've got some nice big plans for that one. Definitely will have a 100 amp ESC in it. And we'll try out a couple of different motors, motors and prop combos to see which one we can get to go the fastest. So yeah, looking forward to that one. And of course, if it could destroy it, then I think I only paid about 60 quid for it in the end. So I'm not going to cry about it if we stuff it in. I'm going to quickly go into topic number 2 before we do Shout Out Corner. This is an update about the Mini Talon. As many of you may probably already know, that I got a free Mini Talon which just kind of appeared in my boot from one of the lads which we fly with. And then Balsa Dave, which is not really fair nickname for Balsa Dave because he flies more foam. I've never seen him fly any, but well, no, I've not actually seen him fly any Balsa, so I shouldn't really nickname him Foam Dave. Is that he was taking a look at, had taken a fancy to them, and I was like, well, Paul did give me this one for free. All I've done is put 4 servos in it, pay me for the servos, which I think they were the MG90S ones, which are £1.80 each. So the Mini Talon, which I had spare, that's actually gone off to a new home. So with that said, I do have a brand new one over in a box, but I do need to nick a part out of that one to give it to Dave, because Dave's been and managed to snap his main spar in his Mini Talon because we land in basically tall grass. The sharp impact basically brought the wings forwards, and then it's cracked the main spar. So that's going to go off to Dave. So the Mini Talon project is kind of on hold at the moment here, and those of you which don't know about the project, what we're going to go and do, we're going to go and slope saw it, get that to do that. We were also going to, I've the 3D printer's been going here all morning. I'm also going to print off a pair of booms or motor mounts which fit on the wings of Thingiverse. A chap called Mark had been and made them publicly available. So we're going to do a twin motor Mini Talon. Well, I say twin motor, it'll have 2 motors on the front, but there's no point taking the motor out the back, so it'll be a tri-motor one. So that should be a bit of fun. We were also thinking about putting an EDF inside of it as well. So yeah. Mini update on the Mini Talon. Now let's move to my favourite section of these RC Coffee Chats, which is where I get to say a very good morning to you. So let me scroll up to the top. I would like to say a very good morning to Joe, to Carlin, Turbo Tyler. Scrolling down, and again I've started from the top, so if you're watching the live version, you can say howdy in the chat and I'll pick up your message in just a moment. Go2499, good morning. Carlin, good morning. Joe, good morning. Scrolling down, Lauren, good morning. Lee, good morning. Turbo Tyler, good morning. Brad, good morning as well. Larry Z, good morning. He says, I've been lurking for some time, but just noticed the title says 6 a.m. GMT when it's actually... Oh, yeah, sorry, I've got BST. Sorry, we've changed the time zones. I will update that. Thank you for letting me know. Ruds, good morning. scrolling down, and as you can tell, we were having quite a bit of a chit chat in here this morning. Anad, NL, good morning. Kev, good morning. Stu, good morning. Brian, good morning. Scrolling down. Riff, good morning as well. Tim Parks, good morning. Lauren, I think I missed you. Phil, good morning as well. Philip, Jang, Elijah, good morning. That quadcopter is on the way to you. I sent you a photo. Well, as you know, I sent you a photograph of the receipt yesterday. I'm sure it'll turn up in your local mail service in no time. And those of you who don't know what I'm talking about there, Elijah won the X73S mental little racing quadcopter, and that's gone off to a new home. Brian, good morning. Van, good morning. Green Patches, good morning. Extra, aka Bruce, good morning. Kim, good morning as well. Says Pilot, good morning as well. Les, good morning. Andy, good morning. Killer Dave, good morning. It's definitely busy in the chat. And Austin, just seeing you in there as well. Richard, good morning. And Dragon Rider FPV, good morning. DC FPV. And I think I've covered everybody. Now, obviously, if I have been and missed your name, then I obviously do apologise. It's not on purpose. There's just a very long list of people which are live here this morning. So far, new foam on the way. We've had a quick chat on there. Oh, one in which I missed out is that I have bought a Skywalker Falcon. Now, this one's a bit of a sad story. This has now been the longest delivery which I've had to wait for from Banggood. Now, I know it's been dispatched. I've used the tracking number and I can see that it's been dispatched. It's just not been updated since the 1st of April. And we are now on the 26th. So this is now turning out to be the longest delivery for a model which I've had from Banggood, which is a bit of a shame. But on the other side, I'm not overly concerned. I've seen that it has been dispatched and it's got a tracking info with it. It's stuck somewhere with a courier in a country, you know. So yeah, those are, and again, I know a couple of you have also bought them at the same time, the Skywalker Falcon. Again, I was going to adequately power that one, but can't do it at the moment. It's still lost in the delivery system on the way here to the United Kingdom of frozenness at the moment. There's quite a deep frost out there. And Jazzy, good morning as well. Just seen another name turn up in the chat. So yeah, that's some more new foam on the way, but that won't be with me today. I've already been to check the tracking number so far. Next up topic is the Skywalker Cirrus. Now, and there's me just been chatting about stupidly overpowering, like the Rare Bear, for example, and we got the Hardcore 44 and the other one, which I've forgotten, on the way to me. On the flip side, I definitely have, and it might be the same for you as well, and again, you can let me know in the live chat, is that I do have like this Jekyll and Hyde nature, is that I like stupidly fast models, whether with FPV or not with FPV, but on the flip side, I also quite like just floaty models as well. And a short while ago, we had the Skywalker Cirrus turn up. Now, the reason I went for the Cirrus, because it was... I think I paid, what was it, $36.58, I think, for it, off Banggood, literally as it came in. I used some points to get it as well. So we'll save 30 quid. And it's a big floaty model, 1.5 meter wingspan. And as you can see, well, I've put an episode out on this one, just slow and low flight. It was about an 18-minute flight, which we had. And I was just up dawdling around. It was a perfect flying day, and then brought it down to ground level, and then went darting through some trees. So if you haven't seen that episode, there is a link to that in the video description for you, and you'll see me just going as low as I dare, and also giving you an overview to the model. I really like that model. Now, there is an update for you on that one, which is next to me, and I don't know how well this is going to work. I'll just pick up this collection of cabling, which looks like a bit of a mess, but honestly, it is organised chaos. In the middle, that is, I probably won't focus, that is a Pix Racer, which is in the middle, and I've not been able to put Ardu Plane on there. Instead, I've loaded it up with the PX4 software, which you can only load in via Q Ground Control, and that's what I've been able to set it up for. I've got the three modes. I've got off, stabilize, mission as well. I'm going to go and try some missions with it, and then on another switch I've got return to home. it's still sat here on my desk. The reason why it's still sat on my desk is because I have a little bag of OSD boards, the little Minim OSD boards, which I need to wire up and configure today. I'd like to get that sorted. And then I'm going to go and get that put into the model. Now, you may be wondering, Matt, does that model really need a stabilizer? Does it really need to return to home and things like that? Well, to be honest, I quite like the idea of putting a stabilizer in it, because when we were out flying on Sunday, is that it was pretty calm in the morning, but by the afternoon the sun had come out and we were getting knocked around all over the shop by the thermals off the ground. And again, if you watch the Skywalker Cirrus video, you'll see that one field across is that's been freshly ploughed, and because of the colour of it, the sun was warming it up and we were getting quite a bit of lift off it and we're getting knocked around everywhere. So personally, I always, and again, we've had covered this topic before about stabilization. Stabilizers are not cheating. They are a technological aid to help you enjoy the flying experience, whether you're a novice or you want something which is just going to take the bit of edge out of it so you can concentrate on flying and not concentrate and having to worry about and get every single knock which is coming in. So anyway, PixRacer is going to be going in that one. I'll give you an update in the Facebook group on that one as that progresses, and hopefully that will be in and test worthy for Friday as well. Goodness knows why Bruce is being a classic in the background. Aussie FPV Sheep has asked, Matt, have you tried the Artbird OSD? That's what I've used. No, I haven't. I normally go with Eagle Tree Vectors. Now, I know that they're pretty expensive, and I've refused to buy any more because I've actually got 3 of them here sat in different models. I wanted to try the PixRacer. It's newer technology. It's got newer sensors, and me and iNav, the other options are out there. We've got, if you've maybe got a NAS A32 board, then you can use Patrick Key's Baseflight Aeroplane. I've got a series on that on the YouTube channel. iNav, I'm not a fan of because it was labelled as working, etc., etc., and all the issues I had, basically the models were just going straight in the ground. So not had a good experience with iNav, so I won't be using that, to be honest. And also, one of the other things with iNav is to run missions, you then need a Bluetooth adapter, so then you need the app which runs off your phone. That's all a bit of a faff, whereas this, I can pre-program in a mission away from the flight line and then take it to the flight line and then execute the mission. So, yeah, I don't want to upset anybody saying that I don't like iNav. If you want to know the reasons why I don't like iNav, look, just type in iNav on my YouTube channel, and it's not been a good experience for me. So I won't be touching it. Instead, I've got 2 PixRacers here. I've got a Pixhawk, which also pretty much performed flawlessly when I tested that out on a flying wing. So yeah, very, very curious indeed. So Artbird OSD has also takeoff. Yeah, absolutely no interest to me at all. I don't fly quads, in short, and I can lob the model. You know, it's nothing special. It's going to go in a great big floaty model. It's just chuck it and off it flies. You know, there's no requirement for. Yeah, Andy, I do wish you luck for iNav. My personal experience with iNav has not been good, and again, I've documented that on YouTube. So let's have a quick look. Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to cover for the series. Absolutely loving the model. In short, loads and loads of flight time, about 40 minutes. Flight time with a 4000 3S pack in the front. Brilliant. Just exactly what I wanted. Next topic is the Durafly Vampire. Now, I've got a Vampire next to me. And as many of you know, that I really wanted a Vampire. These came up on sale a short while back on Hobby King, but the kicker was also the Radjet came up on sale, but the Radjet really wasn't on sale at all, because literally 2 weeks beforehand it was on Hobby King for 28 quid, and they had a pseudo sale, in other words fake sale, on a Radjet, and it was 38 quid, so I refused to buy either of them. Again, sometimes things annoy me and I just go, no, not having any of it. But then Martin sent me those 2 Radjets. One of them is just refused to die, and I can tell you point blank that's not without trying. And then I was mentioned about getting rid of the Traveller plane for it to go onto a new home. As many of you know, and again, I don't want to be too critical of the Traveller plane. There's a lot of things to like about that model. It really does compact down to a small size, so it definitely does meet the criteria of being portable. Like, really portable. Really surprised by that. The moulding on the model was fantastic. The build time was low. My points about the build were all like minor, which was basically we need some holes to go in the side, and the CG was incorrect in the manual. But my issue with the Traveller plane is that it just had bad adverse yaw in short, and I just got bored of it. In frank, I like models to kind of just like work out of the box, and it needed to go somewhere where somebody would enjoy it more than what I would do. And I as you know, that I have no space for any wall hangers here. So me and mine, we did a swapsy. I sent him the Traveller plane, and again I left the two ESCs up underneath the wings with the wiring loom in there as well. That was like the biggest challenge to the build. So Martin, I hope that helped you. And I did a swapsy for a plug and fly version of the Vampire. So to be honest, I was very chuffed. I'm chuffed that the Traveller plane has gone to a new home where it would be enjoyed. And it did fly fine via FPV, I hasten to add. I had 3 flights with FPV on the top, and when you're flying at FPV, you don't even notice any of that. So yeah, happy days. And I'm very pleased with the Vampire, which I've got. Now, I have been and tweaked it a touch, as in I've taken the landing gear off, because that's absolutely useless in a field of poo. And also I'd like to say a big thank you to Andrew and also Les for their suggestions about tweaks for this. I will get some carbon fibre in the wings, because they do flex a bit, to say the least. And again, I was pushing mine pretty hard the other day, and I've watched the video footage, and I can see the wings flexing, which is never really a good sign. And I've also put some carbon fibre strip back up here in the booms, and that just one strip in both of the booms, that really has stiffened up those booms. I was a little bit worried to begin with because they were kind of flexible. So yeah, Vampire Studio, yum! I really do like it. The hold area in the middle is huge. I do have an L9R in it in the moment, which is a complete overkill, but it was the only spare receiver I had. Anyway, so I will change that to either a D4R2 or an X8R, depends what I've ripped. Oh, it'll probably be an X8R, because I'll be nicking that out of the Cirrus once I finish, because I'm swapping to an L9R for the Cirrus wing. It flies absolutely fine. The only negative, there's 2 negatives, well, 3 negatives. Number 1, the booms were really bendy. They really did need carbon fibre on them out of the shop. The landing gear was completely pointless for me. The CG in the manual was definitely incorrect. I balanced this one out at 2mm in front the bottom booms, as it says in the manual, and I did that with a 1.64S pack, and it was grossly tail heavy. I'll get the maiden footage up on YouTube as soon as I can for you, but you have to take my word for it. It was grossly tail heavy. Swapped it to a 1.84S pack, and I'm getting about 5 minutes worth of flight time out of it, which, to be honest, considering the F22, which you only get 3 minutes out of a 1300 pack, I'm genuinely quite impressed with it so far. The other negative, which I've got with this one right now, is that on the lower throttle, we do get a lot of vibration in the model, a specific rev point. So it seems to got like a resonance factor. It seems to resonate in there. But anyway, we just open up 4 beans and it's fine. It's not quite unlimited vertical, but it does way better than the F22. The batteries do come down warm, and the ESC is also warm, but not as hot as what I experienced with the F22 as well. So let's have a quick look at the chat going there. Roddy says, I got one of those, the bigger pole. Yeah, I've heard really good feedback on those flight controllers. Very, very simple. For me, I want something more than just the basics, so that's why I've gone with a Pix Racer, and I probably won't end up buying a bigger pole, or however you pronounce it, system. I always want something extra, so I want some configurability, so I've gone for the Pix Racer for mine. Absolutely. Howdy James as well. Matt, the fan needs balancing. Yes, it probably does need balancing. I've taken the 2 screws out the bottom and put the craft knife around the edges. I don't think I'm going to be getting that out in a hurry, to be honest, because it didn't want to come out. So it's obviously been glued in there. Yeah, we'll just fly it to the EDF dies, and then I'll have to get the EDF out and swap it for another one. And then maybe on the new one, I'll balance that one. But for the time being, I am kind of enjoying it. I kind of like it, to be honest. It was exactly what I expected, and a little bit more because the flight times were pretty good. What I will be doing is, you'll notice the lid's a little bit loose. I am going to stick some FPV in there. So I don't know when I'm going to put the canopy in on top for the FPV or not. I need to think about that, but the next step for this one is to FPV it, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm very pleased with the Vampire, to be honest, and I'm also very pleased that I got my own way, if that makes sense. From going back to the beginning when we had the Vampire on sale and then we had the poor Radjet sale, I definitely have come out the winner all round. We ended up with 2 Radjets and a Vampire. So yeah, Matt's very much a happy camper. And good morning, Dan, and good morning, Raymond, as well. So that was the Durafly Vampire. Like it. And those of you which want to know what spray paint on there, there's a Fiat Silver. I'll put it in the notes, so if you need to know it, ask me in the Facebook group, and I'll let you know the exact colour spray paint, because it is a direct match. It's one of the Fiat Silvers. Next topic is Hobby King. By the way, there is a link to the third flight with the Vampire in the video description for you. A rocking horse did take a dump, and I do have 4 magical 7x6.5 props which have arrived for the EF Extra. Now, what I'm going to go and do is I'm going to balance all 4 of them up, and I'm just going to stick all 4 of them in the flight bag. And the reason why I'm going to stick all 4 of them in the flight bag is they do like to snap for a pastime. The last one of the standard propellers which I put on there, it lasted me 4 flights. So they are a bit of a consumable, and apparently you can still get them on the Hobby King website. So those of you which run your EF Extra, obviously the red version, because it is the fastest version available, you can get spare propellers. Happy days. Right, topic number 6. Is this a bit of a fail from Fat Shark? And to be honest, I was looking at the details, and it really is a bit of a wet fish. Now, I did post this over in the Facebook group, and I was listening to your feedback on them, which is, if you considered, so this one's coming in at a price tag of $350. And now, what's that in pounds? It's going to be a bloody lot in pounds. Let me move that across American pesos. And where's pounds sterling? There we go. So £278. That is, in anybody's money, is a lot of dosh. Okay, and the thing is that for $350, how many other headsets or FPV goggles which you can get with either similar or better functionality out there? And then I just think it's a bit of a fail. Now, just going on with some of your comments which we had from the Facebook group, which was basically, is this just not a version 3 with a pretty faceplate? And you've got to give it to them. It is a pretty faceplate. You've got some little score count on the button for the fan where you plug in your balance lead. You've got some red on there. It's kind of cool, and a different thing, but it really does look like a version 3 which have just been reskinned. Okay, the other one is they do have 32 channel support, which is happy days, but no diversity. Why not? We're dealing with a premium product. Would that not be like the most logical upgrade for a pair of Fat Shark goggles? Am I just being daft here at all? And again, you can let me know in the live chat. Yeah, Lauren, my V3s went much more than those. Yeah, absolutely. I think I paid about $270 for mine, and I frankly would not buy another pair. And looking at the V4s, I see absolutely no reason for an upgrade, because in many ways it's a downgrade. Now, what do I mean by a downgrade? Is that we're not getting anything for diversity. We've still only got the 4x3 resolution. What happens to 16:9? So it kind of feels just like a V3. And again, obviously, I'm not going into the exact technical details, but I'm just looking at it face value. There is no reason to upgrade. The other thing, which was really surprising, is that you get a battery downgrade. One of the big frustrations with the other Fat Sharks is even with an 1800 milliampere 2S pack, you tend to go through 2 of those packs, especially if you're recording DVR, every time you go out flying. Well, that's the case for me. And they've put a smaller battery pack on it. It just feels like we've gone backwards as far as Fat Sharks. So Fat Sharks Attitude V4s, don't think I'll ever own a pair, to be honest. I see absolutely no reason. When you consider the other little, well, they're even in my flight bag, the little set of goggles which I bought for $30. $30. Yeah, it didn't have diversity, but for all, the only thing which it was basically missing here was the DVR recording. And it had a channel scanner on it, and it had more channels in it. And for like, it's 1/10 of the price. And are the Fat Sharks 10 times better than the little VR 007s which I've got? And the blunt answer is, they're not. So, bit of a fail. You know? I don't know. So, let's have a quick look. Lauren says, I like the Skyzones. Nice goggles. And Go 249, yeah, needs diversity. Absolutely. Yes, I'm just looking at Raymond's comment in there. Yes, too much. I have bought Skyzones 5 years ago with diversity and antenna tracker for the same price. It's just crazy. I feel that Fat Shark have basically missed the mark. Again, you go and read the specifications, and you go and look at the other options which are out there, and the premium price for not so much of a premium product anymore. Bit of a pity. And again, if I break my Fat Sharks today and I've got the V3s, I genuinely don't feel that I would go and buy a different pair. I really wouldn't. They look great, they're nice and portable, except that, but they're not worth the premium price compared to the options which are out there right now. Even a pair of Quantums for like £100, you could literally have 2 delivered to your door, stamp on them, and then go and buy another one, and you would still be better off price-wise. Work that out. It's crazy. So anyway, that was what I thought was a bit of a Fat Shark fail. Next topic, Hardcore 24. Now, I mentioned earlier, we've got the Hardcore 44, and the other one, which I forgot on the way to me, Chris has been working on the 24-inch version of the Hardcore. Looks absolutely crazy. Now, the reason why I mentioned in this video, and again, there's a link to that in the video description for you, is the comment at the end by Chris about the micro DRAC. So I'm sure many of you know about the full-size DRAC, which is absolutely massive. I saw my first one in the flesh when I went flying with Andrew about 2 weeks ago. It's absolutely massive. The mini DRAC, absolutely love it. Bat poop, crazy fast, extremely agile, and flies miles better now. I've got some bigger control horns on it. It was absolutely wild out of stabilizer mode, which, to be honest, I kind of liked. So now that I've put bigger control horns on there, it's got more resolution, but I still do have some wild rates on it, to say the least. Anyway, coming back to my point, is that by the looks of it, Chris is going to be working on a micro DRAC. So that is really, really exciting. Well, I think it's really exciting because just the way that the model looks in the sky, it's absolutely fantastic. That there are very few other models which actually look like a DRAC, whether it be the full size or the mini version, and potentially now the micro version as well. And hopefully the micro version comes in at a more affordable price point for everybody, in short. So we'll see what happens with that one in the near future. So I'm really excited about that one. Right, 2 topics, and then it's time for us to go. I think we are doing quite well. Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. Just taking a quick sip of mate. Right, last 2 topics. Hobby King. Would you like to work for Hobby King, in short? there are numerous jobs out there, which I want to say a big thank you to Andy. And Andy, you know who you are, who emailed me the links to these jobs because he thought I might be interested in them. Yeah, absolutely. There's several roles going available at the moment. General manager for e-commerce. I know they have been and tweaked the details on this, because when we first found this, it did have a salary on there, which we worked out. It's about £42,000 sterling per annum. Okay, now they have been taking that off. I don't know if they put that on in error or something like that. We did do the conversions in the Facebook group, and then going back this morning, the salary had the actual figures have actually been disappeared. Maybe you really are into your e-commerce, then Hextronic, which is the parent company for Hobby King, then there is a role open there for you. And again, it is probably based in Hong Kong as well, and most likely includes quite a fair amount of travel too. There's an online marketing manager as well. Again, I've put links to all of these in the video description. Go on and you can have a read of these too. Magento developer. Again, that's probably going to pull the same amount of salary as a general e-commerce manager, because if you are worth your salt with Magento, then you are worth a premium. Web quality assurance and analyst. Didn't really read that one at all. Now, the one which is missing, which if you check this morning, that one's actually missing. It was a Python developer. Now, I'd always taken a guess that they were maybe using something like OpenERP or a back-end processing system, and the details which were in that job spec basically confirm that. So to give you, like, again, you might be interested in this or you might not be. Basically, you have Magento, the Hobby King website, which is based upon Magento, and they have a background processing system, which basically will go and collect the orders from the Magento site and then put it into their processing tool, which I assume that then allows them to manage stock and inventories across multiple different more physical locations and multiple warehousing. Probably does their stock control for ordering and things like that in the background, and that's where you get slightly different emails coming to you which didn't match Magento's because they're using a third-party system. So looks like they're using Python for that in the background. Again, I do remember reading most of the description for that developer's role. Yeah, really, really curious. And yeah, it's the kind of like systems which you would expect for the size of what Hobby King is, and the logistical challenges which they have, which is multiple warehouses in multiple different countries and locations, and the other things which you would expect in a larger business. So that one was very curious, although we can't actually see it on our screen. And the last one is a data analyst, yeah, as you would expect, again, having a background processing tool for managing orders, inventory, and things like that. They will be able to pull out data and then turn it into meaningful data. And again, if you're a data analyst, then you know what we're talking about here. And there is a role available for that. Again, no salaries, or the salaries have been removed from those job specs compared to what they were literally just one day ago. So if you fancy working for Hobby King, the links to those jobs are in the video description for you. And that's actually a serious comment. That's not me. I'm not stood here taking the piss. I'm saying, look, if you're really into Magento, maybe you know Python, for example, and actually want to work with products you actually have some interest in, because let's face it, how many times have we worked with products and we not really care about them at all? If you're actually you've got an IT background, and for example, one of these things, and there's the details, the links are in the video description. I'm being deadly serious about that as well. And to take it back to the normal level, which is that we need to go to the Hobby King website and see if it's broken today. Analyst, yes, that is the new name for an analyst. Anyway, we need to go to the Hobby King website and we need to see if it's broken or not today. So we're going to type in SID side and then Winder. And then we're going to do a search. Oh, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The Hobby King website is currently broken. There are no search results for the Sidewinder. We'll have to check again next week. And yes, as you can guess, this is going to be a weekly occurrence until the Sidewinders turn up. Because what we know, we're 26th of April today, and the release date is sometime in May, so we are very, very close indeed. Now, I am going to quickly... Kev, I've just checked for you. Unfortunately, yes, the Hobby King website is broken. There are no Sidewinders available. I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, or missiles. Sorry, you can see what's going on in the chat above my head. Right, let's quickly recap what we've been covered today. Number one, we've got some new foam on the way. We've got that rabbit. I am so going to overpower that little monster. That should be here with me later today. We'll probably do an unboxing at some point. We also have a pair of hardcore wings arriving here today. And actually, frankly speaking, I'm surprised I didn't get absolutely lubed by the post office. I think I had to pay £12 in import. That was happy days. And again, I don't mind paying import tax, excuse me, at all. It's the £8 or £12 or whatever the courier company was charged me. So, yeah, all good news on that front. Oh, and the Skywalker Falcon. It's missing in action right now. And again, if it does turn up, I'll keep you updated in the Facebook group. And those of you which have already been posting photos of your boxes and your builds in the Facebook group, thanks, gents, you know. Mine is currently MID, missing in delivery. We had a mini update on the Mini Talon. The one which I had, that's gone off to a new home. So I got it for free. It got passed on for free. Well, plus the price of the servos. And so that's gone on to a new home to Foam Dave. Then we will do something with that one. But again, I need to salvage a part to help Dave out with his, because he's been and snapped his main bar. The Skywalker Cirrus. Now, if you've not seen that episode yet, there's a link to that video in the video description for you. Really, really cool model. That one is now progressing on to have a Pix Racer in there as well. Again, also in the Facebook group, I have been really, really enjoying the discussion around like the pros for Mission Planner versus Q Ground Control compared to other tools as well. Please, if you've got any input or feelings or any experience with these autopilots, then please do share it in the Facebook group so we can have a chit chat about them, because I don't pretend to be an expert when it comes to Mission Planner or Q Ground Control, for example. iNav probably has been moved on a lot since I've started playing with it. And unfortunately, my experiences were that bad. It's to the point I just don't want to touch it again. So, but I'm sure they fixed all the issues which were in there when I had it. Anyway, Skywalker Cirrus, yeah. Hopefully that's that new kit's hopefully going to be in there for the weekend. On that front, the Durafly Vampy. Really good fun. And if you want to see how much fun it is, again, there's a video link to that episode in the video description. Really, really like it. I've got to FPV it next. And I've also got to stick a bit more carbon in the wings, because they do flex a bit when you do silly stuff with the amount of aileron and elevator movement I've got in it. Yeah, so really, really chuffed with that one as well. And Martin, I hope that you're super chuffed with your Traveller plane as well. It just had a bit of adverse yaw to it, and I kind of decided that I'm bored of it now. I want something else, and it's great for FPV, and I genuinely do mean that. I flew it so much. I flew it to the battery went flat, and then we had to go and rescue it from the field. And then those of you which are on the live version, we had to trawl all the way through a field to try and find it in the end. I was really enjoying it, to be honest, for FPV, but I've got other aircraft which can do kind of the same thing and go the same kind of distances, so I had to be fair. I've got no room here for wall hangers, and it's always best it goes to a home where she'll be enjoyed. So Martin, I sincerely hope that you enjoy her. The Rocking Horse did have a dump, and the EF Extra 4S blades are now available, the 7x6.5, so that's classed as happy days. We had the Fat Shark Fell. I really do like... I would not buy another pair of Fat Sharks, and these V4s are just basically a facelift and a downgrade. That's my opinion. I don't know. If you think I'm wrong, let me know in the comments section underneath this video. We'll get and have a chat in the Facebook group as well. Just pause for a moment to have a look. Yes, but sorry, I'm just looking at your chat at the moment. I'm totally surprised my Falcon beat it here to Canada versus Matt's to the UK. Yeah, literally, it's been AWOL for 25 days in the Postal Service. Now, I know it's been dispatched. What's happening with it? I don't know. I think it's just one of those random packages which goes AWOL in the post. At least there's tracking for it and we know what's going on. Well, we know that there's nothing happening with it, which is better than just not knowing at all, you know. So I'm not overly stressed about that. I've got plenty of other foam to keep me entertained. The other topic which we covered was looks like we might have a micro drac on the way. So there's a link to Chris's video on the Hardcore 24, and then the conversation which I picked up at the end was about the micro drac. That looks really, really promising. The other topic which we covered, and again, this is me actually being on a very serious point. If you would like to work for Hobby King, they do have several roles available right now. I've put links to each of the roles which I know about currently in the video description for you. Go and take a look. Again, if you are specialised in an area, location is almost irrelevant. Again, this world, we live in a world of the internet. Again, I've worked for two American companies. And other companies in different time zones, and I've worked from home for the last, 12, 14 years, you know. If you're good at what you do, you don't always need to travel or be in you don't have to be in the same locale. It does give added advantages for being in the same locale, but my point was being on a very serious note, if you're interested, there are some jobs available over at Hobby King. Go and take a look, and maybe if you see something which you don't see available being published right now, shoot them your CV and the email. What was it? HR at Hobby King or something at the bottom. It was on the bottom of one of these. Yeah, HR@hobbyking.com. And I want to make the point here. I've been deadly serious. There's nothing quite like working with something you actually have, like products and stuff. You have an interest in that, has a physical interest. Again, it's not like working in Tesco's or for some ad hoc software company. If you're actually interested in models, it's there, you know. So that was me being serious on that one. And to bring us back to the normal Matt level, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, the Hobby King website is still broken. What can we say? What we can say. So on that note, it's time for me to wrap up. If you have any questions or comments about anything which we've been covered today, you've got two options. You can either let me know in the comments section underneath this video, or you can let us know over on the Facebook group. There is a link to the Facebook group in the video description for you. It's free to join. Just press the join button on the right hand side, and one of us will pick up your request. And yeah, if you've enjoyed today's RC Coffee Chat, do me a favour, press the thumbs up button underneath this video. If you are new here, I'm Matt, by the way, and welcome aboard. We do run these RC Coffee Chats. We were running them daily. We've been and moved them to weekly, every Wednesday at 6 a.m. UK time, which don't know what your time zone is, so there's a little conversion chart in the video description for you. Welcome aboard, in short. If you've not subscribed yet, underneath this video there's a red button which says Matt Ogborn. Click on that button. If you would like to be notified of the next episode, press the bell icon. And also I do my damn best to post a new episode of some shape or form every single day. And that has, by the way, that's been my challenge for a year. And I haven't been religious to every single day, but I can tell you I've posted more videos in the last 9 months than there is days in the last 9 months. So I'm doing pretty well so far. On that note, I would like to say a massive thank you to you for joining me for this just chit chat about stuff, RC stuff. Really enjoying this hobby, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. So on that note, thank you to everybody who's been enjoying us. You can see the chat which has been going on above my head. And those of you which have been enjoying this live, thank you as well. You've made it an extra special one today. So on that note, from myself, Matt, cheerios.